Now let's talk about group frequency distributions. So we talked about rank distributions, we talked about simple frequency distributions. Now what are very common in statistics are things called group frequency distributions. This is where you have groups or interval ranges, and you have a frequency or some count of how many numbers are in those groups. There's a lot of good reasons to do this when we collect data. Just think of monthly numbers or something in a sales office. So you'd be collecting the data from the first of the month to the last day of the month and see how many sales you make or something like that. So there's a whole host of reasons to use group frequency distributions. And the rest of the lecture we'll be talking about these. Now, how do we construct these? Well, you need three things to construct them. You need something called the class interval, which is this range right here. You need the number of class intervals. This is how many do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you need the range. The range, you can remember, is just the high score minus the low score. So if you want to calculate one of these, say we want to calculate the number of intervals, it starts with calculating first the range. You calculate the range, high score minus low. From our data, it's 99 minus 51, or 48. And then you have to use the interval size. Now, the thing about calculating number of intervals or interval size is you have to know one of them. You can't have both of them as an unknown. So when I give you a problem like this, I will either give you the interval size or I'll give you the number of intervals, and you will have to calculate the other. So number of intervals is simply the range divided by the interval size. So if we say we want an interval size of 5, 48 divided by 5 would be 9.6 intervals. We always round up the number of intervals so that we contain all our data. So we have an number of intervals of 10 for this problem. So here's what that's shown, 1 through 10, and an interval size of 5. I want you to pay attention to why this is an interval size of 5. You can do this on your fingers if you like. If you count 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, that equals 5 data points that can fit within this interval. So this is an interval size of 5, and there are 10 numbers of intervals. If you are given the number of intervals and you needed to calculate the interval size, here's the formula for that. You just take the range once again, divide by the interval size. Let's say you were told to use 10, and 4.8 round up to 5. That's how we find interval size.